Welcome to Shiny New Clients, the marketing podcast that helps you attract shiny new clients to your business. We'll talk about social media, what makes people buy, how to go viral, and marketing psychology, all in 20 minutes or less. Whether you're a coach, a stylist, or a wedding planner, if you've got a service-based business to sell, this is the show you need to fill your calendar. I'm Jenna Warriner, your new marketing coach, and this is Shiny New Clients. Focusing on revenue in your business, living life like a drone was following you, and how to book more clients for your business. That's what we're talking about on today's episode. If you're new here, hi, I am Jenna Harding. Like I say in that intro that needs to be updated, your new marketing coach, just mocking my own self. Okay, I want to tell you this story. I thought this was so funny. My sister runs a wilderness resort in Northern Ontario where she gets a lot of like ATVers and snowmobilers and people going out into the forest and adventuring. All right, so she was out with these guys who run a YouTube channel and they have a bunch of social media, and she was watching them create content. And she told me this story where they decided guy A is going to go all the way down this hill, and then he's going to ride back up the hill, and we are going to film it with the drone while he does that. So he rides down the hill, and everybody else, including my sister, up at the top of the hill, and it's, you know, this beautiful landscape, and they're looking down, and the drone flies down, and the drone can't find the guy. They're looking between the trees, trying to spot him down into this valley. They can't find him. The drone can't find him. And they waited for a while until eventually they were like, yo, should somebody go look for this guy? Do you think he's okay? And after they waited a little bit longer, and sure enough, he shows up and he's just normal. He's smiling. He's happy. He's like, hey, cool, fun. And they were like, man, where did you go? And he's like, oh, I did what you said. I went down the hill, and then I went all the way down to the end and back up to the road, and then down the road, and then back. Like, I don't know where there was a miscommunication, but he went really far and had a nice ride on his ATV all by himself. But the kicker is, the whole bit was the drone was going to follow him. So the whole time he was riding, he thought the drone was following him. And it just made me think, I bet he was acting like he was so cool, and if he made a mistake, he probably didn't let it show. And I bet at one point he probably put a big thumbs up in the air. And I'm picturing this guy behaving so differently, thinking that this drone is following him to get content. And I'm just so curious as to how different that made him ride. And I'm betting it gave him more confidence. You know, he probably had a smile on his face when he wouldn't otherwise have a smile. How differently would you behave if you thought a drone was following you? And might it be for the better? Like, would you have more confidence in the steps you take? Would you be a more vivacious, vibrant person if you just assumed that you were the main character, you had main character energy? You know, there's a live studio audience. I saw something written online the other day, and I'll just paraphrase it poorly for you, but basically it said, if somebody watched you all day long, how serious would they think that you are about your goals? And that one hit home, especially for somebody who maybe like yourself works at home, is alone a lot of the time, is working solo a lot of the time. I'm like, yeah, you know, it is really easy to slip into that I'm sitting at my desk, but I'm actually scrolling on TikTok mode. The combination of these two concepts, the drone thing and the appearing serious about your goals, stuff like that is the type of thing that I need playing in my head to remind me to go full send all the time. If that's helpful for you, awesome, cool. Now, I also know that sometimes, especially when I was a new business owner, you're kind of like,
all right, what do I do, Jenna? I would take action if I knew what action to take. Sometimes I'm sitting there scrolling because I'm overwhelmed by all of the millions of things that I need to do, not sure which ones should be the priority, not sure which ones are gonna actually give me a reward, what activities are revenue generating activities. There's a million things on the to-do list. How do I even choose which one to do? And then often we just end up scrolling to avoid that, not because we're lazy, but because we just don't even know what else to do with our time. So let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about revenue generating activities, the stuff we should be doing in our business that really matters and can move the needle, and a few actions that maybe you can take this week to grow your business. When I first got into the business space and started meeting all these other people who were also in the early stages of having a business and everyone was so excited about it, one of the things that I noticed was everyone's fascination with buying the domain. I remember one time someone told me about a business idea she had, and she very coyly was like, and I bought the domain, meaning the website, the name of the website, and I bought the domain, because I think people get excited about that because it makes it feel real. And sure, that's an important business asset to own. We definitely want to own our business name domain. But to me, in that moment, as someone who had started their business accidentally in a very backward way, all I could think was, who cares about the domain? Who cares about the logo? Go make money. Go get a client. Go actually have a business. There's no rule out there where you need to have a logo and you need to have a branded t-shirt and you need to have a domain in order to have a business. You have a business the second somebody trades you money for you doing a thing for them. That sounded weird. Don't make it weird. For me, I started my business. If you've heard my kind of origin story, my bosses at all my plethora of part-time jobs just started having me run their social media for them. So the first person asked me to do it. Then I kind of pitched the next person, hey, do you want me to do this thing? I'm doing it for this other person, and so on and so forth. And then people were coming to me asking for me to run their social media. I still to this day don't even care about my website. Don't even care. I have seen how far you can make it without having one. We should have, sure, okay, we should all have a website, sure. The web designers out there are shaking in their boots. Yes, okay, sure, I should probably have one. But you don't need it. I am evidence of that. And how this fits into this conversation today about busy work and revenue generating activities is it is so easy for a new business owner to sit at home all afternoon tinkering on a Canva graphic or a website or creating a pretty PDF to give to one of your clients. And those are not things that immediately brings a new client in the door. Those are not revenue generating activities. So we kind of have to look at our week, look at our day, think of all of the things that you are doing. Some of them you have to do. You're going to have to keep delivering to your clients. You're going to have to keep hitting your deadlines. I get that. But how many of the other things that you're spending your time doing actively bring somebody into your office? And of course, I teach marketing. So of course I'm going to be biased around this, but I've also seen firsthand how many people don't have any marketing, don't have any sales. And that's great if business is coming to you through referrals or your clients stay with you for a really long time so that you don't feel like you need to be marketing yourself that much. But one day you will. And the best time to market yourself is before you're feeling desperate, because the worst energy to sell from is the energy of desperation, right? So we want to have revenue generating activities baked into your week. You want to have marketing activities baked into your week. When I was out at my sister's place, out at the resort, I'm constantly forcing her to do more marketing and sales. We'll be sitting having a glass of wine at the end of the day, and I'll be like, why don't we just go to the office? It would be so fun if we just took our wine and we went to the computer and we sent an email to your list with a new promotion for ATVing. I'm so insufferable. I never turn it off, but I'm constantly trying to get her to do more revenue generating activities because she's so busy running her business. She's so busy delivering to her clients and running a resort that often I see that marketing and sales kind of falls by the wayside. And it's not just her, it's all of us. We're all guilty of it or have been at some point. Sidebar, I'm sorry if you feel really called out by this. I think that lately in these podcast episodes, I've been doling out some serious, tough love, and it's helpful, and people are telling me that it's helpful, but sometimes they feel really called out, and I want you to leave these episodes feeling good. So I'm going to brainstorm some topics that we can talk about that are a little bit more fun and a little bit more uplifting, although I do stand by that these are helpful and will help you make more money, like talking about revenue generating activities and being really real with what that means and better ways to spend your time in your business. But this is supposed to be fun, and fun is my core business value. So I don't know what got me into this mood, but I'll try and get out of it. Anyway, I hear this argument, not for real, but I can already hear it coming, you know what I mean? Of someone being like, okay, Jenny, you're talking about revenue generating activities, but you post on Instagram all the time. What about that? Does that count? Yes. Yes, it does. For me, it does, because 99% of my clients come from Instagram. Instagram fuels my funnel. Instagram is my main lead generator. So for me, posting on Instagram 100% is a revenue generating activity, especially when I post sales content. And if you know about the strategy that I teach, you have 3 kinds of content on Instagram. You've got growth content, nurture content, and sales content. And then you might be saying, oh, but Jenna, you give away so much for free. You're giving away opt-ins all the time and list growth stuff. Yes, because when I post something that gives you something for free in exchange for your email, you are now on my email list, and then you are put into a funnel that will invite you to buy something else. It'll invite you to enroll in Magic Marketing Machine. It might invite you to buy a $20 mini product. It all feeds together. When you're using an Instagram strategy, that becomes a revenue generating activity because that's where your clients are coming from. What else might a revenue generating activity look like? Well, sending out emails to your network, communicating with the humans, checking in on past clients, sending out an email to your list. Anywhere that you make an offer, so that's email or your Instagram stories or talking to people or direct messaging people, anywhere where you're reaching out to someone and making them an offer. Reaching out to people in your network to collaborate with them. So maybe you create some sort of a referral system with them or a joint venture partnership, something where you're like, hey, we have the same client base, but do different things. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours type of thing. If you had to, could you think of 5 people who you might be able to create some sort of a relationship like that with? What if you just tried? And what if you just shoot your shot and reached out to those people and asked them if they wanted to team up? If you had to make $500 by the end of the day, what would you do? What could you do? Anything on that list, that to-do list, is going to be an example of a revenue generating activity. One more thing, and this is the inside scoop, and you are officially the first person probably to hear about this, all right? If at any point in this episode you went, oh my goodness, this would be so much easier if I had a mailing list, and every time Jenna says email your list, I go, oh, well, how am I supposed to do that? I have 5 people's names on my list. My friend, we all have to start somewhere. Everyone's email list started at 0, all right? But I want to help you grow yours. So this summer, we are throwing a 2-day live event where you will create, launch, and promote a freebie in 48 hours. You can promote this freebie to your audience on Instagram, on Facebook, in person, in networking events, everywhere you want. And people will trade you their name and email for your freebie. And I'm going to show you how it's done every step of the way. If you don't have a freebie yet, don't worry. We're going to make it so simple for you to create one. We're even going to give you options. If you don't like technology and you want some simpler tech options, we're going to have like tiers. So there's easy tech, medium, and then advanced. If you already do have a freebie, but it is not doing the job of actively growing your email list every single week, then come on in, because there are different kinds of lead magnets out there. There are different kinds of freebies. And the one I'm going to show you how to make is specific to getting big numbers and growing your list. One of the reasons that I've been posting so much about different opt-ins is because I've been testing my method and the results have been absolutely mind-blowing. One day I made a post using the promotion tactics that I'm going to tell you, and I woke up to 2,000 comments on one Instagram post. And I know I have a big following, but that was even big for me. That was outrageous. I've been growing my email list by the thousands using these same strategies that I am going to show you how to apply at Freebie in a Weekend this June 2025. And because you are hereby the first to hear about this, you also get early bird pricing. So until June 6th, we have a massive discount on tickets to this 2-day event. You come, you ideate the freebie there with us, you make the freebie, you set up the tech, and then 3 posts to promote it. So by Monday morning, you are launching that baby out into the world. And then also, you can use this formula again and again. It's a repeatable formula. I've proven that you can repeat it again and again. And I've also made a few mistakes, which now I have learned from, so you don't need to make those mistakes. It's actually been a very fun process of testing my method and strengthening it. And I'll share all about that on the weekend. It's going to be high energy. Yes, there will be a replay so that if you have to step away or run the kids to a birthday party or whatever, that's all right. I'm going to make the replays easily available, and you can get all of that info and your ticket at the link below this episode. If you don't see it there, run to my Instagram. I'm at Jenna's Page, JennaSPAIGE, because Paige is my middle name. And I will have that link in my bio on Instagram as well. I'm so excited about this. You're going to hear me talk about it a lot because it is our event of the summer. We've been planning it for a while. My Magic Marketing Machine students are already like, give us the link. We want to come. And I'm honored. It's very exciting. I want to be really intentional about us also having a good time because, like I said, my core value is fun. So I cannot wait to see you there. I cannot wait to help you grow your list. Don't forget to go do your audit this week of your time. All right. Look at your week. Which activities am I doing that are revenue generating and which are busy work, and add a few more revenue generating activities in there. I love you so much. I'll see you next week.